Keller Williams Command brings the agent operating system and the consumer operating system together seamlessly.
Command organized everything for me, then put it in one place.
When you have dominion over what you've got at your fingertips, it gives you the opportunity to grow. I was always moving between these different applications,
but none of them talk to one another. And as a result, there's lost clients, which means lost dollars.
A spreadsheet for my finances.
We had 7 or 8 different logins.
A spreadsheet for my showings reports, for my listings, my price adjustments.
It was a big time drain.
Our goal is nothing short of reinventing how people experience real estate through technology and making sure that you're the owner of that technology.
We wanted to build a platform that would connect Keller Williams agents all over the world. This technology was built by agents, directed for agents, and ultimately created to make your lives better.
We really took time with each one of the applets, getting to know how it could help us in our business, and designs was huge because it eliminated that Canva expense. We templated what is our brand going to be, and now everything is branded, it's succinct, it takes seconds to create new listing, under contract, just closed.
We use the campaigns dashboard a lot. Within the campaigns dashboard, we can send direct mailers out to neighborhoods that we farm. You just choose like an area, or you can say 123 Main Street. We want like 250 mailers to go out for just listed within a 5-mile radius, or you choose a radius. We also use the campaigns dashboard to set up social media ads and pay-per-click ads to not only be in our hyper-local area, but also farm outside to gain more territory.
The way people are shopping for homes has changed. Everything is social, everything is on the phone. So if you can't be on the phone and them have direct access to you as their agent, you're losing. You can tell a real estate agent built this app, and that's what I appreciate. If they find a property within the app and they want to ask about it, it goes directly to you.
It's a really great way of being able to connect with your client if you're using the same platform together, and I can see what they're accessing, what's interesting them, when they're clicking on things, when they're opening things. So it helps me also be more efficient how I'm working with my clients.
With smart plans, I'm allowed to set it and forget it. I don't have to worry about clients falling through the cracks.
It keeps track of things that we wouldn't otherwise think of. My clients' home anniversaries, their birthdays, the things that build that feel-good relationship with your clients, it automates. And so it makes those touches so much easier to keep track of and to make happen.
So what's really neat about Opportunities is that it will track that lead and that business through the process, not just track it in terms of steps, but also the math behind it. Every step of the way, as I get closer to a closing, I'm starting to realize those dollars. And as someone that knows pretty much every CRM out there, I've never seen this before.
For me as a team leader, I use the Opportunities dashboard the most, just looking at the numbers and seeing where we are. Conversion rates,
Average commission, we're tracking what our sales price is.
GCI, probable income, potential income, all those things are things that I'm looking at, and then ways to lead generate, ways to get more listings, ways to get more business within the team.
I can make smart business decisions based on where are we going to spend more money, where are we going to cut back, and it's all right there in one spot.
So like Gary said, when you know the right numbers, hitting the mark becomes the entire focus of the team. And so for us, when we want to know our numbers, we look at the reports dashboard to make sure that we're on track.
I could see what's on my agents' dashboards, but then I could also see how they're interacting. I could see where they're winning. I could see where they're not winning, and I could coach specifically to what it is I'm seeing. If I see a number of appointments being set and a number of appointments being held, but no listings being taken, and I have a tool that exposes that deficiency, what should I be coaching or training around?
Command has simplified our lives on the back end of running a team with a lot of moving parts and pieces and human capital. It's allowed us to go to one place to get the answers that we're looking for in almost every single facet of our business.
The cost per lead is ridiculously low. If I was spending $3,000 before, I can spend like $150 or $200 now. It's been like 95 cents a lead on Command.
One of our CRMs, we were paying as much as $2,000 a month.
I could take the money I was spending on a CRM and I could support another family by hiring somebody full-time into our organization.
We were able to cut our expenses by 50%. So moving to Command was just like a no-brainer. We can save money if we go to a free platform versus paying for one or two, right?
We
We've leveraged the technology within Command and allowed for that to enhance our business.
From A to pay, it just simplified everything.
You could tell that this was made for agents by agents.
What Keller Williams Command does better than any other system out there is it keeps you relevant and it keeps you right in the middle of the transaction and it doesn't let any detail slip by.
Real estate is about helping people with one of the most fundamental aspects of their lives, home. And you are the expert they turn to. And not just when someone buys or sells, but before, after, and all the little spaces in between. So it can be frustrating when you don't have the time or technology to know when someone needs your help. And when you miss that opportunity, it creates a gap that someone or something else can step into. So let's close that gap and give you the time and technology you need to build high-quality relationships with more people. Let's join forces and demand our technology not replace us, but help us be more human, more present, more everything. Let's take Command. Built exclusively by and for Keller Williams agents, Command is your do-it-all, do-it-quickly, people-centric, less stress, more time, end-to-end platform to grow your relationships, your pipeline, and your market share. Whew! Luckily, using it is a lot easier than explaining everything it does, but let's give it a try. Organize, customize, and sync all your contacts. Group them however you want. Know exactly who to reach out to, when, and about the things they really care about. Send personalized neighborhood-centric just-in-time marketing materials in a snap. Have more conversations, build more relationships, earn more business. Say, "Hey Kelly," and escape from your desk in the office. Add a new contact, log notes, and sync everything while on the go. Seamlessly and transparently source, send, and manage referrals through one of the world's largest and most profitable referral networks. Deploy an ROI-maximized ad campaign across Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter in like 30 seconds. Integrate the systems and tools you already use every day. Automate paperwork and background tasks. Access real-time revenue projections, end-to-end ROI insights, and goal tracking to get a bird's eye view of your business. Have more conversations, build more relationships, earn more business. Command empowers you to be a better agent by giving you more time, more value, and more freedom. And best of all, it ensures you and your relationship with your clients remain at the heart of real estate, where you belong.
We don't get it right all the time. Nobody does. Sometimes we fail, but we fail forward. A couple years ago, we started reworking the Command app. We discovered that we had real AI all along. Agent intelligence. You told us what we did wrong, so we could work to make it right. And the only way to truly get it wrong is to give up. But we didn't give up. We hired the best to make the best. We kept building for you. We broke it down, we beefed it up. We went mobile, baby. And now that it's ready, we're not finished. Let our competitors say pencils down. It's not just about where we are, it's about where we're going. And we'll keep building the platform to go anywhere that you want to go. More time, more education, more contacts, more connections, more insights, more integrations, more on the go. More simple, more success, more results, more referrals. More leads, more listings, more leverage, more wealth. More human, more often. More MREA. We wrote the book on real estate, and now we've built the tech. A bigger and better network, so you could build yours. We transformed the technology from worry to works, from From bugs to business, from doubt to double down. This is where she who controls the lead controls the industry. Take control of your database. Take control of your leads. Take control of your money. Take back control and take command. This is now an app with a fiduciary interest, an app that makes your fight personal. This is an intuitive real estate machine that learns, corrects, improves, anticipates, just like entrepreneurs. Built for agents, by agents. This is pure Keller Williams, made not just to keep up with you, but make you faster. Take ground, take command. This is the place, and this is the technology, built for entrepreneurs to thrive. We did more than make it right. We made it us. Onward.
Whether you're a leader or agent, KW Command enables you to manage and grow your business through one powerful integrated platform.
A typical agent spends more than 60% of their time away from their desk. That means you have to be able to take your business wherever you go. The Command app makes it possible. When you are on the go, everything you need is right there on your phone.
You can access and manage your contacts, respond to new leads, prioritize daily tasks, and manage your opportunities, all within the Command app. Tasks are the backbone of your day. Within the Command app, you can easily add and manage tasks, then see a clear snapshot of what needs to get done when.
So your to-do list is always up to date and prioritized.
The Command app makes tracking contacts and leads easy. With built-in integrations for texting and calling, including Twilio and WhatsApp, you can effortlessly log a call or text, then instantly view it on your contact's timeline.
There is a reason Command Mobile has a 4.8 out of 5 rating in the App Store.
The Command app makes it easy to build, foster, and maintain relationships with your sphere of influence. You can assign a lead to a smart plan, add tags, and create notes, so you'll always remember what's important to your clients. You can manage your opportunities and always keep your pipeline updated. In-app and push notifications ensure you won't miss out on anything important.
Plus, the app makes it easy to manage read and unread notifications and to set reminders.
You'll always be in the know and ready for action whenever and wherever you get new info, like seeing who's requested a tour or who's inquiring about a property. Like we said, we're serious about helping you thrive.
With the Command app, everything you need is at your fingertips.
Command was created to help entrepreneurs like you thrive. Whether you're a market center leader or agent, KW Command enables you to run and grow your business through one powerful and integrated platform. We built Command around Gary's proven laws of lead generation. Build a database, feed it daily, and communicate with it systematically. It's all about being more human, more often, with more people. We want you to thrive in this market and capture your unfair share of every market. That's why we help you generate more leads for less. Using Command, you can upload your contacts and start a high-impact marketing campaign without spending a dime. You can run targeted ads across media channels, including Google, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok with just one login. In Command, you can create one-off listing campaigns or always-on recruitment programs with push-button ease. No marketing expertise required. You'll do in 9 minutes what used to take 9 hours. And at less than $3 a lead, you'll pay a fraction of what everyone else in the industry is paying. Save time, save money. Sold. Like we said, we're serious about helping you thrive. For streamlined lead gen, it's all right there. Friends, it's time for you to take command.
everyone. Good morning. Good morning. If you can hear me, please press 1. You can hear me, please press 1. Okay, 1% can hear me, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5. Okay, so I know you can hear me now. I hope everyone is having had a great weekend. And today we are in our Power Monday shift again, another episode. Mr. Andy it's not here today because he's somewhere across the other part of the world. He's in the US and the North American continent right now, going through a few conferences and at the same time going to attend the NAR conference in the US this year, which I think is in Boston. So our goal today is to look at our next episode of Power Monday Shift, which is the tactic number 8. But I thought today I want to start the conversation or start our day by just giving us a perspective of the human brain. Interestingly, the human brain, a study of the human brain has become so important that it is now being studied to learn how best to solve problems. That scientists and researchers are actually researching the human brain for strategies and for systems to solve problems. But I wanted us to look at this particular video shortly to start the day because I think it will set the tone for the whole entire conversation of this tactic number 8. So while we are waiting for more people to come in, I'm going to play a short video. I think it's about 2 to 3 minutes, and I want you all to just watch the video. As we are watching the video, share your ahas on the chat box. If you're on Facebook Live, welcome. Share your thoughts on the videos. On the video that we're going to play right now shortly. So just give me a minute. I'm going to start sharing my screen. And then we'll get away with a new video. Hang on, just give me a minute. Okay. You're seeing my screen now. Right. Okay, I'll be sharing my screen shortly. Let's watch this video.
The big picture is that we still really don't understand how our brain recognizes objects. A large portion of our brain is devoted to visual processing, visual signals. Therefore, we believe that if we understand how the brain recognizes visual objects, it will help us understand how it works overall. So, in the brain, visual signals are processed in a number of stages. In primary visual area, it's been known that neurons respond to edges. So when I view surroundings, each neuron in the primary visual cortex will respond according to different edges throughout the visual scene. But it has been a major enigma of what happens just in the next visual area. The issue is that even though it is just the next stage of processing, it has very complicated features that were difficult to summarize. We think that these organizing principles can help us detect disorders of visual processing that affect or start in this area.
We got the data set from a public repository. The experiment recorded the responses of brain cells in monkeys that were watching natural movies. And then we used some novel statistical techniques to analyze the data, try to figure out what in the movies was causing the neurons to respond and what type of computations those neurons were doing.
The mechanism that we discovered could help us understand how we detect changes in texture. For example, an example of a change of a boundary defined by change in texture, if some part of the visual scene has predominant this orientation and another one has texture that is of a different orientation, then we would see that there is probably a boundary between these two objects.
One of the applications is just understanding object recognition, how we're able to look at an object from different angles, from different distances, under different conditions, and still see the same thing. Another application is computer vision. By taking the insights of the brain and how it solves a problem, we can use that to inspire solutions for automated cars.
There are many applications of computer vision algorithms, from flying an airplane to a self-driving car to other robotic devices. And it seems that every time we add elements of computation that are found in the brain to these algorithms, their performance improves. More generally, vision is an example of a problem where we can quantitatively study how the brain works.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. What are your ahas when you watch that video just now? I mean, I know it sounds very academic. It's very, what do you call that? It can be a bit too much, right, for us to digest. But what's that one thing that you hear or you watch and you that gives you an aha? Feel free to unmute yourself and just share. What's your aha here? Anyone?
Hey, Jonathan, James here.
Hey,
So
James,
my
how are you?
how are you, man?
I'm good.
Good. My aha is that people are visual, right? And so we can sit and have conversations and talk to them, but if we're not showing them anything, it's not going to have as much of an impact on it.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing, James. So the idea is that the brain predominantly is a processor of visual signals, meaning we are more visual. Generally, we receive things, we process things better when there is visual elements in the entire journey or process. So, for example, I can sit down and talk to a client about real estate. But if I don't show him anything, right, whatever I say may not be received the way we want to communicate to them. Does that make sense? So the visualization aspect of the human brain determines the receiving message or information from us, right? So in order for us to connect, what I'm saying is in order for us to connect more visual, fundamental visual tools or visual messages or things that's able to see, it's important, right? So today we're going to talk about something that most people don't talk a lot about, especially in Asia, because I think in Asia we adopt a mentality where most people don't bother to make things nice, especially when property viewings, right? Property viewings, we have a lot of properties. I know for some reason, I don't know whether it's for me, but me as an agent, I'm very messy. Very, very messy. And sometimes to clean up and to show my house is not something that I like to do, right? So the goal today in our tactic is in a very, very challenging buyer's market. Buyer's market requires a lot of it has a lot of competition with multiple listings in the market. There are a lot of listings in the market. There are a lot of options in the market. So the way we can position our listing and ourselves is to find a way to be visually attractive. And I think COVID has given us a fantastic gift. Not that I say COVID is good, but it has given us a gift piece because the adoption of virtual or technology or the virtual realm becomes something of a norm, right? So Gary Keller always says we are physically virtually based, physically enhanced. So staging for a property today or a visual staging of a property today is no longer only physical, but it is also digital. So the idea is, how do you stage the property in a way, and how do you enter a conversation to help clients stage the property? Today is our topic today. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. How many of you are excited to go and start this conversation today, right? How many of you are interested to learn about how to have that virtual conversation, the conversation about staging with your clients? Because I think staging is absolutely critical right now. Okay, let me share my screen real quick. Okay. Okay, I hope you're seeing my screen now. Let me just adjust some stuff. Right, so feel free to share ahas, feel free to put stuff in ahas here on the chat box here if you have any questions. I'm going to go very fast, and I want it to be a very interactive conversation today because I think a lot of us probably have a lot of questions, right? So how do we stage the property, right? And the goal is, what's the perspective, right? The perspective of staging. What is the benefit of staging a property right now, right? Staging is your ticket to get your listing sold in the shifting market. There are more competition than ever. So the goal is, how can we make our listing stand out? The goal is to put our listing up there to compete with other people. We must first understand and acknowledge that there is competition in this market. So the first conversation you have to have that with your owners and sellers is that they must be aware that there are a lot of competition. Now, it may not what do you call that? It may not mean that every market is the same. So depending on your market, but I believe in a buyer's market today, there is a serious inventory available in the market, and we need to think about staging, right? Not only that, always remember, all buyers are attracted to beautiful listings. All buyers, irregardless of price. All buyers are attracted to beautiful listings. So if you don't have enough beautiful listings in your portfolio, potentially you may not be attracting more buyers, right? So one of the key things is, sometimes I like to keep expensive listing because likely expensive listing is a beautiful listing. They may be asking for a lot of money, but I like to keep those listings because those listings are the one that will generate me more buyers. Does that make sense? In my ads and in the way I show pictures to people, those are the one that people like beautiful house. They want to see beautiful house. I once have a house that I was maybe 12, 13 years ago that I was trying to sell. It had a huge house and land lot, about 10,000 square feet, a huge house. But the signature of that house, it had a customized kitchen that is worth about $400,000 US, just the kitchen alone. Right, so I always send picture of that kitchen to all my database and to all my clients and all my ads, because I wanted buyers to look at it and ask me questions. Right, I even had open house talking about this kitchen. So you need to understand that people generally like beautiful things, right? So it's important to think about, how do you collect more beautiful listings so that it can help you generate more leads. It's a potential opportunity to generate more leads, right? Agents like great looking homes, they're easier to sell. Buyers are looking for values. Right? Between the house that is not so beautiful and the house that is beautiful, between the house that is renovated and that's not renovated, because cash on cash investment upfront, it's a key consideration when buying a property, right? So this is something that will help buyers to consider your option, or even take a look at your option, right? Staging enhances your reputation as an agent, at least on your social media, on your ads, on your portfolio, or on your website, or whatever marketing tools that you have. Your property looks nice. Now, we're going to go ahead to later today and talk a little bit about some things about staging, some implementation of stagings. Staging doesn't mean you have to make it so beautiful, but it looks nice, right? So I will show you some examples later as we go through today's session, some videos of some examples of what is beautiful and what is nice, and what is something that people would like to see, right? That is appealing, right? We're going to talk through about some major implementation that we could take home and suggest to your clients. But the goal is to understand, you as an agent, you need to understand the benefits of staging so that you can have that conversation with your client, right? Now, convincing your sellers to stage. The first thing is when you get the listing, it's always important, right? To be objective, but at the same time, be gentle with the condition of the house. It is important when we have conversation with clients, we don't offend them, because most of the time, all homeowners are very sensitive or very personal about their property. Most of the time. So having a conversation about, oh, the house looks very ugly, is not a good start to the potential conversation, right? I would suggest that every time you have a conversation about staging, don't talk, don't say this is not good, but show them a good example. Have a conversation that is visual and that is easy for them to understand, because words sometimes can mean very different things to different people, right? So I always see agents making a lot of mistakes by not communicating in a positive way, even though we know that the property needs help in terms of staging. So we need to first understand, get the listing, and have a way to communicate with your clients about staging. My take is always have a few examples of your past record or examples of other people, what they are doing, showing them, if you were a buyer, would you think this is a better appealing listing for me to even consider, right? So the goal is not to sell the property because it's nice. The goal is to stage so that many people are coming to see your property. You understand what I'm trying to say? So the communication, the expectation has to be clear with clients. The reason why we want to stage the property is because we want to be competitive to get more people into the house. Mr. Owner, would you agree if you have more viewings and more people coming to look at the house, there's a higher chance of you achieving our goal in selling the property? So that's the conversation we need to have, which I feel is simple, but yes, sometimes we don't do enough, right? Right. The discussion stage is you need to talk to them about staging. Sometimes you need a bit of money. Sometimes you need a little bit of effort. Sometimes you need a little bit of time. Give them examples and look at how they would actually respond to you, right? You got to gauge them, gauge what is their interest, what is their what do you call that, commitment level. You want them to pledge their time, their effort, resources into helping you to stage. Now, some of them, if the house already has good opportunity, what do you call that, good opportunity to become an open house potential, I will have better conversations with them. So helping to have that conversation to discuss with the seller about staging and potentially some costs that you may incur in staging, right? And we're going to talk about some of those implementation. Question to everyone: how many of you have a discussion with your client about staging the property so that you will attract more people to come and take a look? So if you can, put a chat box right now. If you have conversation about staging, press 1. If you don't, press 3. 1 for communicate that you are actually having a conversation about staging with your clients. 3 that you don't have conversation with your clients. There's no right or wrong. I just want to understand. I want to gauge how many of you are doing it and how many of you are okay. Awesome. Some of you do. Very good. Fantastic. Some of you don't. And it's okay, because some markets, maybe you don't need to stage it so much, right? Awesome. So I hope by today's discussion, it will help you trigger your mindset to think about, where is my opportunity of staging more listings to get more buyer leads? Now, I understand in the Philippines, there is already a lot of challenges in getting buyer leads, right? So perhaps this is something that we can think about to do more, to have better listing, quality listing, and better stage listing, so that we have better potential getting leads, right? Okay, let's go ahead. Take the approach, consultative approach. Take pictures of cluttered and uncluttered rooms. You will hear this key implementation called decluttering later as we talk about it. And have conversations with them. Ask questions. If you are a buyer looking at a cluttered home and an uncluttered room, which one would you prefer? Right? And if you know that you are a buyer, that the buy is a buyer's market, how much potential that you will lose by not staging, right? Have those scripts and dialogues, having conversation, and a lot of time is asking questions, right? A consultative approach is basically asking key questions to help people to think so that they can self-discover potentially, is this the opportunity for them? That's what we need to do as agents, as a consultant to them. We need to ask questions. And you need the way you prepare about it, remember, this is a visual thing, right? Would you want something that's cluttered or uncluttered? Right? So have that conversation with your client in a systematic format where you keep on showing them options and pictures. And this is our past. If you look at the listings, go to a Lamudi or go to a portal. If you're a buyer, would you click on this listing or this listing? Which one gives you more attraction, right? And I know some people say, no, they're just interested about the price. Now, if something that you want to adjust the price, that's fine. But if you have a right price and a good condition listing that looks good, would that sell better? So have that conversation with your clients and your sellers right now, because I think a lot of times there's an opportunity for us to create more value and build that bridge to help them get closer to the closing table, right? So set expectations, be very diplomatic, see from a buyer's perspective, right? Think and see from a buyer's perspective. Always ask them, if you're a buyer, which one would you prefer? It's very simple script. If you're a buyer, which one would you prefer? Because all of us who are own properties were buyers at one point in time and a buyer in the future as well. So having them to sit at the shoes of the buyer is very important. Be diplomatic. Do not be dismissive. Do not criticize their property. Do not tell them it's terrible. Do not tell, even though you know it is. Do not tell them that, because that's personal to you, right? It may be terrible for you, but it's not terrible for me. So most of the time, I find that a lot of agents get very personal with their listings. So I encourage you to get not personal with your listings and get objective with your listings. So when you come from an objective standpoint, you begin to communicate in a potentially more diplomatic way. So set expectations in having that conversations about the value of staging, the necessity of staging, and what do you need to do in order to stage, right? So this is the initial conversation with the sellers, right? I'm going to go deeper into the next part. Okay, evaluate the house. So how many of you have listings that you have never inspected physically before? So press 1 if you have, press 2 if you don't have. How many of you have listings that you have never inspected before? Press 1 if you have that you have listing that's never inspected before. Press 2 if that you always inspect every listing. And there's a phenomenon around the world where agents, a lot of agents, felt that evaluating or inspecting the listing is not important. Right? That's something that we need to change our mindset, because without seeing the property, without evaluating the property, without inspecting the property, it's very hard for us to work on that listing. Right? If you have heard Joanne and John Quack talk last week, I hope you all enjoyed the conversation. If you have not if you have not watched with us, you were not with us last week, I highly encourage you to watch that episode about how they capture leads. But they shared something very important, is that they choose their listings to work on, and they want to see if the owners are willing to partner with them and have the same expectation. But that requires a lot of work in inspecting and having conversation. So you need to go through that process of inspecting properties, right? This is something that you need to do if you really want to sell the property and list the property, right? Go through the home, evaluate the property, review the property, and think about few key things, right? Number 1, find out what is the key selling point of the property. Like, what is the key features and benefits of the property? If you have not learned anything, write this down. Evaluate the key features and benefit of the properties, right? What is the key outstanding feature of that particular property? Now, a property or a home, if you're looking at a home, and we're all assuming we're all talking about residential property, there are few key things to note. Now, I always tell agents, if you are imagining buyers walking through the home, if this is a single family home, 3-bedder, 2-bedder, or a property that is more for family or at least a couple, you need to understand the needs, the his and her needs, right? So be clear when you communicate and when you show things, when you create marketing tools, that it addresses and it gives focus on both parties, like his and hers, because his and hers have different needs, right? And in the property, it's very simple. It's either the kitchen, living area, bedroom, bathroom, right? Few key elements. A lot of times, we think about, oh, the swimming pool of the apartment and all. Those are all important stuff. But the real thing is the space that that person is living in and the space that person is enjoying. And that's where we spend most of our time at home. So a lot of times, I find that we don't talk about those things a lot. We talk about so much things that swimming pools and gyms and all that, which most of the time, most people don't use, right? But we spend more time in the house. So understanding the key benefits and features of that particular property, right? And the opportunity to improve that particular property is important. So you need to understand his and her needs when you look at a house from a buyer standpoint, right? Look at the layout, determine if you can put in extra finishing. What are some of the things that needs to be added on or removed from the house, right? The paint is important. So there are a lot of things, right, that potentially changes the environment, even though it's in the whole house. Paint, colors, wallpaper, right? Check what's the wear and tear, what's the condition. Do you know where's the condition of the property? Every room, every single floor area. Are there certain places where you know that you need work? Because as you go through this, right, you will be able to see, would we need to adjust our price based on the condition of the house? Well, the three things that determine pricing: location, condition, and price, that will determine the sellability of the property, right? So understand that and go through that. I know some of us don't like it, but as a real estate agent, professional real estate person, you need to be able to go in and see things like that and then think about how do we dress this up, or what is the opportunity for us to dress up, right? Check for cracks, checks for doors, check for doorknobs, check for a lot of stuff. Right? Just go through that thing. One of the key things that I always inspect in the property last time is, number one, is the air condition working? In all my viewings, if the owners do participate and agree with me on the way I want to stage the property, in all my viewings last time, all air conditioning is on. If there's an air condition, if it's a furnished property, the air condition is on, the lights are all on, the fans are all on, right? And I'll play a little bit of background music if I can. If there is any kind of scent, I want to put some smell or scent, those are important because all these trigger sensors, right? Scent, sight, sound, temperature, right? So prep the property on the air condition, because when a person is in an air conditioned environment or a cool environment, it helps them to feel good. So I always ask owners, please on all the what do you call that, air condition. Personally, I in my early days of real estate, I not only sell real estate, but I was heavily in investment, right? I was joking with friends, and this is a real fact about myself. In the last 20 years, I have moved 9 times. Every time I buy a new house, I set it up nicely with the potential intention to sell. And that was when I was younger, when I have no kids. It's just me and my wife, right? We always set our property up set it up. We always dress it up, because if anyone is willing to pay me a premium, I will move out. So I have moved 9 times in the last 20 years in KL, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And I can tell you, every time when I show a property or an agent come and take my house for showing, I make sure all air conditioned, all lights are on. And I make sure there's better, good smell. I make sure that they are able to look at the key features of the entire home, because that's important, right? So, and I promise you, always I do that, it works, because it sets the tone, it sets the environment right. Just as when you go into a show unit of a new project, you have to think like how you want to make that experience for your buyers when you're looking at the secondary market. So depending on which market you're doing, this is something that you want to consider doing as you move forward, right? Right. So once you look at all this stuff that you think that needs help, you need to think about putting a list of recommendation. What do you think that needs to happen? And maybe if you have contractors in mind, send them some contractors contact and tell them these are some of the things that you need to do in order to make the house better. There's a statement from Clark saying that foreigners clients view house or condominium needs, they need to check water pressure. Yeah, some people are very particular about it. So you need to know, right? Where's the leak? Where's the water pressure? All high rises potentially have leaking problem, water pressure problem, right? So you need to be clear where that is and be able to find a way to make sure that is fixed before you even show the house. Okay, next, let's move on. Right, once you make a recommendation, right, hold your sellers accountable if they agreement to do this. Make sure that you get them on a piece of paper and saying that we will not go to the market until you do all this stuff, right? So formalize this arrangement in the agreement that you will dress this all up and you will do all these things in order for you to do it. Now, you may say that, oh, it's so difficult, most owners won't do it. But do your best to find a way that they formalize this with you. Once you have this, right, you are potentially having a very serious owner that wants to sell. This is just an example of how you can use staging conversation to filter out serious owners, right? So that you can spend more time on serious owners that want to really sell their property, right? Now, what are the key implementation? There are 4 key things to stage a property. It's not complicated, guys. And you don't have to do all. 4 key things. Number 1, decluttering. When you talk about decluttering, we're going to show you some videos later about decluttering, about cleaning, maintaining and repair. Is the aircon code. It's the air condition code. Are there leakings in places? There are stains of leakings in places. Can you fix that first? Create an atmosphere environment in the 4 key areas. Your entryway, the first point of entry, your living room, the kitchen, and the master bedroom. And I believe bathroom is one of them, one of the key things, but that's probably number 5 if you ever need to fix that, right? But the idea is to think about these 4 key implementation. Now, you may have owners say, I don't spend any money, clear, but can you declutter the property? Can you please clean it up nicely so that it is all organized? Now, let me show you a video of a listing this agent did that he tried to get the owners to declutter. He did not spend any money on how staging the property in terms of fixing or anything. What they did was they just went in and they just decluttered. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to show you this video. While I'm doing that, how many of you are learning something today? If you're learning something, please press 5. If you're learning something, please press 5. Right, I hope you're learning something today. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to play this video. Okay, let's watch this video.
Back to back. You can also park a third car on the side if you're not using the greenery. It is not facing any house, so you can even park more cars there. Now we're in the living room area. It is quite spacious, 20 feet by 70 feet all the way back. Okay, so this house has been extended to the back. On the ground floor here, we have a pretty good sized room, but it's currently used as a storage area. The kitchen is fully done up, so all the kitchen cabinets have been built in and is kept in good condition. There's also a ground floor bathroom over here. And in this kitchen area that has been extended, you can see that this is where the current owner is doing their wet cooking. Their heavy cooking. And it's also the space where they can hang their clothes. Now let us head up to the first floor. As usual, there will be a storeroom under the staircase. So when I was walking on this staircase, I noticed that this whole area is very brightly lit. And one of the reasons is because there's a window over here. So it feels ventilated and there's a lot of natural lights. We're currently at the master bedroom. Okay, so the master bedroom is pretty big size. You can fit in a built-in wardrobe space here. And the bedroom size, the bed size, it can easily accommodate a king-size bed. So this is originally the family area. It has been covered up with a sliding door and converted into a room. But if let's say you don't see the need for a bedroom, you can actually just use this as a family area, put on a TV, a sofa set over there. This is the third room. And it also has windows facing the outside, comes with air cons already, as well as the shared bathroom with the fourth room next to it. So for those who's looking for a terrace house that is in a guarded environment, you can easily get 4 or 5 bedrooms in this house, along with many car park spaces. This could be a good house for you.
Right. What are your ahas? When you watch this video just now, what are your ahas? It's just decluttering. It's not fantastically beautiful house. Everything was just packed aside. So one of the key things that I encourage you to do is if on a daily basis it's hard to look like this, have a set aside time to do a virtual walkthrough, so that when you have this virtual walkthrough, it's staged properly from a virtual perspective. And that becomes a tool for you to send out to all your clients to show them this preset virtual staging house. Because I don't think everyone can be as clean as that every day, right? So is that likely going to be messy around as kids come back and all that, right? So have this as a virtual staging process where you tell the owners, say, look, I want you to clean up the house. I can help you or whatever it is. Let's just declutter everything and just have that one full day where I'm going to do a shoot and we're going to virtually stage this house properly. Now, what are some of your comments? Please put in the chat box. What are some of your comments as you watch that video just now? Anyone? Right. Feel free to type in the chat box. What are some of your comments? When you look at it, what are some of your comments? Anyone? Anybody? Unclean. Right. Decluttering and white walls now make the room looks bigger. Absolutely, yes. Decluttering and white walls, right? Very neutral colors, right? Not in excellent condition, but tidy. It's dull, but it's not in excellent condition, right? So that you can correct. Take time to evaluate the details of the listing so you can suggest, recommend options for your portfolio. Absolutely, yes. So once it's properly displayed or properly staged, right? It is a better looking opportunity or option to send out to people than just showing them a potential picture that looks messy, right? So that is a form of staging, right? The most basic form of staging is when you are taking things simple, right? What else? What are some of the things that you have observed? Is that video difficult to do? My question to you all. Is that something difficult to do? Absolutely not. Anyone else? Is it difficult to do? No, it's very simple, but it looks good, right? And this is something that you can commit to the owner easily. Like if you declutter it nicely and set a time for me, I'm going to shoot and produce a great marketing video so that this video will be a virtual staging for your properties, and this will be sent out to all our prospects, right? So this is something that you can consider doing with your client. It's not difficult to do, but it is targeted and it's specific, right? It's very specific. So let's go back to our notes a little bit for a while, right? Right. So one of the key skills of a successful agent is mastering basics of how a home should be presented and staged properly. Gary Keller talks about this. It is part of his $1 million real estate journey, right? Like agents need to think about how to stage and present the property. And it's easier to show this video than to tell them, right? Oh, this property has 5 houses. You know what? Let me send you this video. Tell me what your ahas and feedback about this particular property. So having a conversation after a visual experience, it's very different before we have a visual experience. And today, because of technology, we don't have to have the viewing first. We don't have to have physical viewing first. We have virtual viewings first. So whoever has seen this virtual presentation or staging, and if they choose to come to a viewing, it's already a second appointment, likely, right? So the way I do appointments with buyers is today, I think what we should be doing, we should be sitting down in a coffee shop with them, showing them 5 options that we have that best fit them through a video or through a photo montage or through a photo album of these are the listings that I think make sense to you, right? That conversation is important. That will lead to a better viewing process, right? That's something that you might consider doing as you move on to having good buyer appointments. Right, so overall convenience, simple staging consultation versus extensive services, right? Simple is remove the clutter, clean, paint, rearrange the furniture to create space and flow. Like extensive is probably we want to have the home repairs. We want to have new flooring or window treatment. We want to upgrade some kitchen features. Or we want to rent some furniture or plants to make it look nicer. I once told an owner, you know what? Your kitchen cabinet is very old. Instead of changing everything, would you consider taking out all the doors and just repainting them? Oh, I didn't know I can do that. So sometimes we think, right, by changing the whole entire kitchen is the solution, but actually, I found him. I have a ready supply of what do you call that? Contractors that does this. So I have a carpenter that I send a lot of work to him. His job is actually taking out all the cabinet doors, changing the handles, and repainting the doors. Because that's how I upgrade my properties when I sell them or rent it out. I change and I paint them all white. Right, so it's easy when it's all white, it's acceptable, it's neutral. So it looks good, right? So having those simple staging and then telling them what is extensive is important, right? This is not complicated, but this is helpful, right? Correct. If it was presented in a way the audience will see the possibilities, one can tailor fit each room to its needs. That's correct. Yeah. Would you recommend staging an empty condo? I would definitely, yes, I would definitely do. If I can, I would. There are some software for virtual staging right now where you can somehow potentially shoot the whole entire video and then you just add pictures inside there to help you look at what would that look like if those things were there. Yes, I would. If it's a commercially viable option for you in the listing, for example, if it's a super luxury property, I have put in furnitures for a huge house before. I work with a furniture company. I say, hey, I'm going to do an open house in this huge luxury property, and I want to see if you want to put in your furnitures here. And as people walk into the open house, they may be interested to buy the furnitures from you. Right. So what I did is I have all the furnitures in the living hall, dining hall, and the master bedroom, only just 3 key areas. Remember, not the whole house, but 3 key areas. And every furniture had a price tag. And I told him the win for you is if people walk in and buy, you will get a sale. Right. And I want you to put your furnitures in this house for the next 2 months. So it became a showroom for that person. And I asked them, if you have any people who wants to look at how this sofa can look like, please come to my house. I will show them. So it's a win-win solution with your service provider. So having a relationship with a good service provider is important, right? So I had a relationship with furniture shops. I have a relationship with appliances. I have a relationship with furniture rental companies. I'm not sure whether you have furniture rental companies in Manila, but in Malaysia we have, especially for those who are moving from abroad, expats coming from other countries. They don't want to buy furniture, they rent. So create that kind of environment, right? Atmosphere where people feel good about the house, the property, right? So simple and extensive, you decide. But I would spend more time on bigger ticket properties, more luxurious properties, because I want to showcase. I once had a big house, a bungalow big house, where I featured appliances. I don't know whether you know this appliance called Sub-Zero. You can Google them, right? I'm not sure whether it's still around, but I think they're still around. It's probably one of the most expensive fridges in the world. It's called Sub-Zero. So I work with this particular supplier or dealer. I say, hey, can you please put all these appliances in this house so that when people walk in, they will look, wow, that's a nice fridge. Like, would you then I will send the lead over to you. So it's a win-win, right? And I will tell people, please come to my house and my open house and look at potentially one of the most beautiful fridges or the best fridge in the world, right? Called Sub-Zero. So you can Google Sub-Zero fridge. I actually put them in the big, huge property so that people come in. There's actually a attraction to bring them in. I work with car dealers before. I say put in your sports 2-door Mercedes SLK in the porch and allow them to test drive, right, when they come in. So it gives a different feeling, right? So as you leverage and you work with people, you create significant what do you call that, strategic partnership to bring in more value to the whole experience for your consumer, right? Okay, consideration of children and pets. Think about how can you make it more friendly. I know all of us love our dogs and pets, but figure out how can we make it clean when we are doing that video or when we are doing that viewing. Children, how do you select their toys and put in the right place, but then keep everything else properly, right? So think about how do you implement stuff in terms of decluttering and staging the property, right? Make a good first impression. Paint and replace the front door to make sure the doorbell works, right? Polish all hardware. So you can actually take AutoSol, a solution to polish all the hardware, the doorknobs, all this stuff, right? Put a welcome mat in front, potted plants next to the door, right? Think about cleaning the windows and keeping entry swept and clean. So simple things like that when you think about staging the property. I know it's a lot of work, but you think about it, if I do this consistently with all my owners, would I then build a better reputation compared to other agents, right? So this is how we want you to think about creating more value to your clients and bringing the buyer a very good experience when you look at the property, right? Decluttering and cleaning are the two most important steps in staging. Keep on track through the use of checklists available in this guide. So if you're interested to find a checklist about decluttering, email us and we will potentially send you one thing. Okay, now let me show you a few examples, right, of a good staging, right? And I think virtual staging is probably something that we have to put in a lot of effort more. I feel that physical staging today is something that we may not necessarily need to focus on so much, but a virtual staging is very important. So let me show you an example of a good stage one of a good property. Let me show you this. Hang on. Okay. Now, there are some examples of our agents in KW Malaysia that are doing, following through these strategies and how they implement their stagings and how they implement their virtual staging. So feel free to copy from them or look at their best practices, right? This particular video had 3.2K views in 9 days, and I think it's organic views, right? So take a look.
Hi, my name is Carmen and I'm excited to show you a 2.5-story link house in Tanah Merah. Let's go. One of the nicest features of this house is this courtyard. This is a staple feature in most houses in Tanah Merah. What's interesting about this part that we're standing on right now is that it was originally a car park. But because of this beautiful courtyard that brings in natural sunlight and natural ventilation, the owner decided to extend it out to build a room. So this room can now work as a guest room or even a master bedroom for those who don't want to climb the stairs. This master bedroom is now equipped with built-in wardrobes. You get a nice big window facing outwards. You get brand new air cons. This master bathroom. This area has been renovated only last year. The pipings and wirings are all fully changed. So this bathroom, when I brought in buyers, everyone commented, they were like, oh, it's a very modern concept. We like it. Yeah. Now we head on downstairs. So right now as we are walking downstairs, I would think this is actually the signature portion of this house. And it's very unique and I'll show you why later. This portion was originally a utility room, a powder room for the visitors, as well as a small kitchen area. But for this owner, what she did is she broke down the walls and she created an open kitchen concept. Take a look. As we walk out towards the end of the house, we can see that this house enjoys this beautiful view of the Central Park in Tanah Merah. So imagine living in a landed property that has this kind of facilities. What's nice about this house, this owner, she thought, why not capitalize this location further? She actually built a gate that leads directly out to the Central Park. Just by opening the gate, you're right now at the Central Park. Yeah, the basketball court. So the entire Central Park is it's like a long oval shape where you have pathways surrounding it. In the evenings, if you come, you'll see pet owners with their dogs, with their cats walking around, as well, of course, with their human kids. Barbecue area, a bit of a rest and relax area, children's playground. So you have a pretty decent sized swimming pool over here for adults, and you also have a kids or toddlers pool by the side. As we head on to the second floor of the house, we can see that it's a huge space. It's currently used as a second kitchen along with a living space. What I would suggest is if you do not see the need for a second kitchen, you can actually transform this whole space into anything that you like. I've seen multiple houses in this area. Some of them use this as an entertainment area where they would have a snooker table, they could have a yoga room, some of it uses it as a home office. So it's really up to the next owner to decide what they want to do with this portion of the house. There's also a really great view of the Central Park for this portion of the house. Upstairs, this is where the other 2 rooms, the smaller rooms, are located. So in total, there are 4 rooms and 3 bathrooms in this house. We can take a look at the shared bathroom first. This is one of the rooms as well. As you can see, this room is already fully equipped with new air cons, and this room also faces the courtyard, so you get natural ventilation and natural sunlight. Let us head on up to where the second master bedroom is. So this master bedroom has also been extended outwards, and if you can see, it's actually very cleverly separated. So on your left side, you have your built-in wardrobe, your brand new air cons, as well as a bed, and they all overlook the beautiful Central Park. Okay? So if let's say you're a person who likes natural light, this could be the right house for you. If you're in a market looking for a freehold, gated and guarded landed development with facilities, and you want a house that is already in move-in condition, schedule a viewing with me today.
Right. Okay. What are your ahas? Anyone? The virtual walkthrough tour is a form of virtual staging that I think that there's an opportunity for us in our market to do it. So ask yourself this question. In your market right now, are people doing things like this or not? If you are seeing people doing this, yes. And the question is, are you doing something about it? Right? The way you want to be successful is you are willing to do things that people are not willing to do, and you are doing it in a way that is simple, right? So sometimes it's not complicated, it's very simple. Staging to me today is a necessity. The way I will use videos like this is to send out to all my clients before they view the property. Because I want them to look at it from a virtual standpoint. I want to excite them. I want to see what are their ahas. I want to have conversations with them once they have a virtual experience and then they have physical experience. So the goal is to figure out what are the best ways to virtually put this. It doesn't matter if your listings are not exclusive, because to me, I need to have more of this out there so that I become famous and I become someone that is outstanding, right? So it's all about us going out there and telling people our story, regardless whether we're exclusive or not, because the whole market is open today. But the market that is, the person that's willing to do more likely have a higher chance of winning. Yes, consider video quality too, correct. So you need to get a little bit of equipment. That will be a different conversation later, how to do videos. I've got someone that I plan to invite one day to talk about how do they create virtual videos and how do they generate more leads. But listings are not exclusive. That listing was not exclusive either. She did it because nobody else was willing to do it, right? So that's how you stand out. Okay, I'm going to pause here for a while. Any questions, any concerns, any ahas? Anyone? iPhone is good, but lighting has to be good. Yes, okay. Now, don't be perfect, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just have to be, do something, start small, think big, grow deep. Correct. So, property seekers will appreciate more videos. Yes, someone will say something?
Yeah, so I think I can see she was trained by you, absolutely. She's got a nice feel to her. And what I loved about the virtual video is that it also gives people, like you were saying, an opportunity to feel like they know you as the agent. So your personal brand is just that much better. I think great video, nice walkthrough. And what I loved about it is you were right. What did she do? She hammered on the key four areas, right? She did the bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchen, and living room. And then she did a bit about the estate. So I think exactly what you're talking about, she nailed all of those. So good video. And I think, again, let's do it.
Yes, thank you, James. Thank you for sharing. Some of you saying correctly, it's imperfect videos make it authentic and believable. Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. People want to see the real thing, right? So I want to challenge all of us today here to think about creating more content. Because in the virtual world, as we have more stages and more content, the likelihood, because remember, everybody is interested in a visual experience because that's how our brain is programmed. So if you have more visual content out there in the market today, and you have good quality content, now let's not even talk about quality, let's talk about quantity first, right? And in the quantity, there will be quality, right? That's when you begin to stand out compared to other people. Irregardless whether the listing is exclusive, I mean, they want to steal my listing, go ahead. Because everyone will know this listing anyway. But once you are staging it correctly, once you put it up there nicely, right, more listings, right, you begin to realize that some of these agents actually are thriving because they are able to somehow generate more interest from the social media and more interest from people because, number one, with a lot of content, the first thing that comes is you are valid. The first thing that comes to the clients, sellers, or yes, correct, they create more trust. So you have to start somewhere, right? You got to build that trust somewhere. Eventually, when you're good enough, I have a friend in Singapore, which I want to introduce you all one day. He's probably the master of creating videos and master of video walkthroughs in Asia, I believe. I think he's probably one of the masters. And he will tell you that the quality and quantity of content comes hand in hand. And you have enough content, you build what we call a good reputation, you build what we call a good credibility. Because content creates a lot of things, a lot of trust, that people would see that this is a serious guy. Correct. And Kareem, you're correct. More content creates an impression that sellers trust you with their property, creates an image of trust and worthiness. Absolutely right. Because again, we are all visual people. Right. Any other questions? Anyone got any questions? Anyone got any ahas, questions? Please share it on the chat box.
Can I ask a question quickly?
Sure, James, go ahead.
So obviously, doing the virtual walkthroughs is a great way to create that validity and that infamous, make you famous. What about other kinds of videos we could create as agents? Could we talk about the market and post those on YouTube, or maybe a market report that we could then put on YouTube and send out to our buyers or sellers in an email?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. 3 ways on how you can stage your property. I will send 3 ways. I'll give example. Example 1, this is how I did it. This is how I did it. This is how I did it. Call me if you're interested. Very simple, right? 3 ways to put your property ready to be in the market. What are the 3 things to do? What are the 4 things to do? Everybody like the 3 things, the 4 things, the 5 things, right? So if you have enough 3 things video every month, once or 2, 3 things video, that's good content, right? Again, that's what we say. The human brain is a very visual brain. The more they see you somewhere, the better you get. And today, because of technology, exposure becomes not that expensive anymore because the virtual world has a lot of channels, right? Your reels and all that. But the fundamental key thing is still the way we create the communication and the message about our listing. Right, it's all about that. How do you use your listing and tell your listing story to people? Right, so I highly encourage you. I know that we are not in an exclusive market. In Malaysia, it's not an exclusive market either. But I believe when you are able to put in effort to do more things for the listing and that particular listing, you will eventually get the exclusive listing. Right, so this is a way to potentially pitch for the exclusive listing that I'm willing to do this, and that, and I'll update you. And I will show you how many people view the property, right? Yeah, so if you go to some of these channels, look at how much views they have. A lot of times it's because they have been sending out and it's going out viral to all their friends. Hey, do you look at my property? What do you think about the property? I just saw this. What do you think about this? So friends and friends will talk. Suddenly you've got a web of marketing connection because of a good content that's being done. Sometimes the good content requires a good listing. You're going to select the right listing. that you think will work and that people will want to buy, right? Cool. Any other questions before we end today? Okay, I hope you have learned something. I hope you have gained value in our today's session. So next week we're going to talk about other things like Tactic 9, which is a total different thing. But I hope the one thing that you get back from today is that all our clients and ourselves, we are very visual people. If you are not visually out there, it is hard for us to compete. So how can we then create that advantage for ourselves by creating content visually or impacting our clients visually? I hope you have learned something today, guys. I hope this has given you a lot of value. I hope it has kickstart the week well for you. If you are interested to join our trainings, we actually have physical trainings in Manila Bay today. Maybe Hannah, can you just post it on the picture? Can you please post it? Can you just share the screen? Thank you. Right. If you're looking at our screen, we will have 2 key sessions. I will be actually in Manila this week. And these trainings are open for all guests. We are going to do a business planning clinic, I believe Tuesday, tomorrow. I'm actually arriving in Manila tonight. So please pray that my flight don't get delayed. For some reason, the past few weeks, my flight has been delayed. So I want to arrive on time so that I can rest and have that business planning clinic with you all tomorrow and a combine your business session on Thursday, I believe. So if you're available and you're here, it's a physical session. I hope I can have a physical encounter and you can a physical encounter with all of you. And I hope that we all can have a good visual encounter together in Manila this week with you all. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you have a good rest of the week. Take care and go do your business well. Thank you.